Alright, hello, and welcome to this video. This is a video actually I wanted to do, and then I got involved in hiking and kind of got distracted. And, this is about the Long Island Railroad mainline track work program, and I do want to show you some articles from the Long Island Railroad today in this video, and I will put a link to where you can subscribe to get the Long Island Railroad today, and I would highly recommend it. So this is first I'll show you again. We're still dealing with the ongoing outages on the main line due to track work, and this track work is involving switch replacement. It's involving tie replacement. They're putting concrete ties on the main line, so it's work that needs to be done. I totally understand why it needs to be done, and I support it. The problem is the lack of shuttle buses. This is the problem. They just say Long Island Railroad are cross-honored on Nice Bus, N22 and N24. N22 and N24 are not a substitute for rail service between New Hyde Park and Hicksville. There needs to be shuttle buses provided by the railroad connecting with both west and eastbound service at both ends. Alright, because a nice bus is not a connection. It takes much longer than a shuttle bus would. Alright, so instead of just directing everybody to go to the South Shore, but they want to make it as difficult as possible, like I said, for a reason, and that is because of a certain demographic that just wants, because they just want to make us hurt, because they want to make our towns undesirable places to live. And they want all the people going to the South Shore because that's where they live, and they want all the life there, and while everybody avoids us. And this is why we're going to look at some of the Long Island Railroad today. I'm not going to. So let's first show you this. This is from the committee books. So as you know, the 24-hour impacts that were previously reported are now going to be extended to 48 hours to allow the state of good repair work to be performed. That would include the concrete ties and stuff like that, and the work on the Elmont station. So School Street is going to be eliminated, so both tracks on the main line will be added for School Street. And originally it was supposed to be just between Mineola and Hicksville, but now they extended it for the whole corridor again because I guess they're working on the Elmont station, and they're going to be doing surfacing track switches in Queens interlocking to improve reliability. So they'll be doing work. So you know the deal. You got to go. They'll get a ton of trains on the Babylon branch. You know the deal already. And then on one weekend, they're one of two. This is a big problem here. This is something I was going to rant about because it's not right that they are doing this. So it says one of two main tracks will be out of service on the Hempstead branch while that track surfacing is being performed. So there will be hourly service between Hempstead and Penn Station, so you will not have half-hourly intervals. Extra trains will be added between New York and Babylon. And then they say bus service will be provided between East Williston and Hempstead, and Mineola and Hempstead. All right, that bus service only runs every 2 hours. And then they say bus service will be provided between Mineola and Hicksville, but that is not shuttle buses. That is Nice Bus. That's the N2 and N24. So I wanted to just point that out to you. I think that's all they have on this, on the committee books. So I wanted to show you that. So we know the deal already, and we look at the schedules. They just get a ton of service on that Babylon branch. I mean, a ton. Sometimes they're getting 5-6 trains an hour when you throw in the diesels that are heading out from Montauk. You know, it's ridiculous how much they're getting, and it's just a certain demographic trying to rub it in our face, looking how much service they can possibly get, which is insanity. So I want to show you some of this. All right. So on the schedule, you'll see. Look at all these trains that they have, like 550, 553, 559, 625, 650, 659. Sometimes they're running 4 or 5 trains an hour. It's nuts. And everybody's going to the South Shore. We know that already. And this is why I want to go to the Long Island Railroad Today article to point this out, because, and again, I'll provide you a link, all right? I'm not going to go over the whole article here, but he agrees with me that it's not fair, that he says, though intermittently slow service is better than nothing at all, which is what the Long Island Railroad does for New Hyde Park, Garden City, Maryland Avenue, Carl Place, and Westbury stations on those weekends. There is no train service and no substitute bus service. Originally, the Long Island Railroad provided no alternative transportation service at all, but after being pressured, all they did was add cross-honoring on the N22 and N24. But the cross-honoring is barely an alternative. Not only do you have to make 2 or 3 transfers and detour out of the way via Hempstead on a local train, but the bus schedules are not coordinated with the train arrivals. This is what I'm talking about. And even nice bus-to-bus transfers at Mineola are not timed properly. All right, adding up to all the detours and transfer waits turns what's normally a 44-minute trip from New York to Westbury to an average of 1 hour and 52 minutes on Saturdays and 1 hour and 56 minutes on Sundays. Taking the buses can add as much as 2 hours and 26 minutes to normal travel times. So it's just discrimination, and most people, they just cut the railroad avenue completely and stay on the and take it to the F subway at 179th Street. All right. And for New Hyde Park and Garden City, Maryland Avenue, there is no cross-honoring on the bus. You'll have to walk up to a 0.85 miles south to the Hempstead branch stations, and which doesn't help you if you're going east. And you know, they are assuming that everybody, the railroad has suggested on a number of occasions they are assuming everyone has a car and can merely drive to another station on the South Shore. All right, but this leaves the riders who live around these local mainline stations, who live around and do not have a car, either completely stranded or with an extremely long and inconvenient detour on buses. This is not. And they say this continues to show a significant blind spot in the Long Island Railroad's outdated way of thinking. The MTA and the LR has tried to argue in the past the buses weren't heavily used, which I disagree with. They were. And what is likely the real motivation behind eliminating the bus service and marooning local passengers is the cost running the substitute bus service can be expensive. But again, they seem to provide shuttle buses for Long Beach. They could tell the people on the Long Beach line just take the N15, but they don't do that because that's the South Shore, and those people are more important than we are in the eyes of the railroad because, again, the MTA is beholden to Wall Street. Wall Street controls the MTA now. That's the way it is. All right, so I want to show you this data here because there's been a decline in ridership on the main line, significant decreases, and a lot of this doesn't have to do with COVID as much as it has to do with these outages. So the mainline local stations have lost 13% of ridership from the spring of the September of 2019 versus the spring of 2019. All right, this is 2019. All right, before COVID. All right, Hicksville, Bethpage, a 10% decrease in riders. East of Hicksville, 21% decrease. Oyster Bay Branch, 12% decrease. So overall, a 17% decrease, and everybody's going to the South Shore. So if you look at this here, you'll see local South Shore was up 5%. Montauk Branch, people are going to the Montauk Branch, 12%. Hempstead Branch, 15%. Port Washington Branch, 4%. So they got a gain of 9% additional riders. So the South Shore train stations with a third express train each hour, those like Babylon, Amityville, Massapequa, Belmont, Freeport, and Lynbrook, saw a 14% increase. South Shore everybody is going to, and the Hempstead Branch, which had service increased, saw a 15% increase in off-peak sales. So the Hempstead Branch did get an increase, all right, and then he adds how important it is to the railroad to give plenty of notice about these significant. They did not do that, and the Long Island Railroad didn't inform service that service would be suspended for 7 weekends in a row until the afternoon of September 5th, giving riders less than a week's notice to plan ahead. The Long Island Railroad usually does this usually includes a list of upcoming track works, programs, and the meeting materials for the MTA board. But we can't honestly expect the typical commuter to seek out a memo on a page 92 of a 200-page document buried deep on the MTA's website. And then the railroad said back in July the outages would be Saturdays only and no disruptions on October 3rd, but then with less than a week's notice, upped it to Saturdays and Sundays. So I want to thank you Long Island Railroad today for speaking up about this, and I'm going to provide you the link to so you can subscribe to Long Island Railroad today, because we need substitute busing. I understand why this project needs to be done, but we need to have substitute busing in place between Floral Park and Hicksville, and proper connections between Mineola, and first of all, not Hempstead. Hempstead is dangerous. There should be a shuttle between Mineola and Garden City. It's shorter distance, all right? And Garden City is much safer, all right? And the way I would have it is I would have an hourly shuttle connecting service between Floral Park and Hicksville, all the local stations, all right? And then I'd have a shuttle running every 15 minutes between Mineola and Garden City, all right? All right? I have a shuttle with that, all right? So this way, you know, the railroad assumes everybody's traveling west. There are a number of people that need to travel to Mineola from points east, and they're screwed. They're stranded. All right? And of course, East Williston would be involved in the shuttle too. There'd probably be hourly service shuttle to East Williston. All right? But the way this is done is they want people going to the South Shore. This is what they want. It's all about with a certain. This is not a cost cutting. He does say it's cost cutting. I don't think so, because the railroad seems to have no problem providing shuttle buses for every single other branch but the main line. All right, so that to me does not seem like it's cost cutting. It's more of a matter of they want to just discriminate against us. So I want to thank you for watching this video. This is not right. I'm going to keep complaining until we get our shuttle buses. Thank you.